A very good morning, students. I hope you all are fine and safe with your family. Students, today in history, we will be learning civics. In civics, we will be learning our lesson number 3, and the name of the lesson is Features of the Constitution. In the last 2 lessons, we studied how our Constitution was made. We studied its preamble and understood terms like sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic. The goals expressed in the preamble are the characteristic features of our Constitution as well. Apart from these, the Constitution also has other features. We shall try to understand these in the present chapter. Students, before moving to our third lesson, first we will introduce in detail, or we can say in short, about our Constitution, what it is. Rules are necessary to ensure smooth conduct of activities in our life. Okay, why we need rules? So that everything should go on smoothly. Okay, we follow norms in our family. What we follow in our family? We follow norms. And in our village society or school, what we follow? We follow rules. Okay, so we follow norms in family and rules in our village, city or school. The administration of our country is carried out through a system of rules. So how our administration has been carried of our country? It has been carried out through a system of rules. Suppose if rules are only not there, so is it possible for a country to run successfully or in a smooth way? No, not possible. Okay, so rules is a necessary in each and every way. We will see now, students, first in short what is Constitution, what it is. You can see here the image of Constitution. Constitution is the book in which all the provisions regarding the administration of a country are mentioned together in a systematic way. So what it is nothing but it is a book in which all the provisions regarding the administration of a country are mentioned together in a systematic way. So when did the process started? The process of making the Constitution of India started in 1946. The task of making the Constitution was completed in 2 years, 11 months and 70 days. There were 22 parts, 395 articles and 8 schedules in the original Constitution. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar was the chairman of the drafting committee. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, Sarojini Naidu, J.B. Kripalani, Rajkumari Amrit Kaur, Durgabai Deshmukh, Hansaben Mehta were the prominent members of the Constitution Assembly. So students, till here we have completed our first and second lesson. All these things were there in our previous 2 chapters. Now what we will be learning? We will be learning about features of the Constitution. Now students, we will be learning in detail about the features of the Constitution, what it is. The first one is called as federalism. What is federalism? Federalism is a system of running administration of a country by the governments at 2 levels, with each one making laws on separate and different subjects. What it means? It means system of running administration of a country by the governments at 2 levels, with each one making laws on separate and different subject, where each and every government is making laws on different subjects. Okay, so that is the system which is called as federalism. Federal system of government is adopted in countries like India with large territories and huge population. Where such kind of government has been adopted, federal system of government, it is adopted in countries like India. Why it is adopted? Because here it is large territory and we have huge population. The federal union central government carries out administration of the entire country. Which government carries out administration of the entire country? Federal union central government. Moving ahead. The government at the center carries out the tasks like defense of the entire country, foreign policy, establishing peace, etc. It is also called as union government or federal government. Okay, so what is union government or federal government? It is a government at the center which carries out the tasks like defense of the entire country, foreign policy, establishing peace, etc. Moving ahead, students, second point. The government that oversees the administration of the region that we live in is called as state government. So what is state government? It is the government that oversees. Oversees means what? Which look upon. That oversees the administration of a region that we live in is called as state government. It looks after the administration of a particular state. So what state government does? It looks only after the administration of a particular state. For example, government of Maharashtra looks after the administration of the state of Maharashtra. So what government of Maharashtra does? It only looks after the administration of the state of Maharashtra. Now we will be learning, students, about the topic called as separation of powers. What it means. The Constitution has divided the subjects for making laws between union government and state governments in the following manner. So what Constitution has done? Constitution has divided the subjects to make law between whom? Between union government and in between state government in the given manner. First one is union list, second state list, third concurrent list, and fourth residuary powers. One by one we will be learning, students. The first one is union list. The first list is called as union list. It contains 97 subjects on which union government alone can make laws on defense, foreign relations, currency, international trade, war and peace, etc. So which is first list called as? First list is called as union list. How many subjects it contains? It contains 97 subjects. Who can make laws? Union government can make laws on the topics like defense, foreign relation, currency, international trade, war and peace, etc. Moving ahead to the second list. First we have learned, student, about union list. Now we will be learning in detail about state list. What it is? The state list is for the state government to legislate upon. First one we have done, student, union list, and this is the state list. Who's looking after? It is looked after by the state government. Okay, it contains 66 subjects. How many subjects state list contain? It contains 66 subjects. State government can make laws on law and order, agriculture, local government, health, prison, administration, etc. Okay, students. So what state government can does? They can make laws on law and order, agriculture, local government, health, prison, administration, etc. So here we have done with our second list, which was called as state list. Moving to our third one, which is called as concurrent list. What it is? Apart from these two lists, which are these two lists? First is union list and second state list. Apart from these two lists, there is a concurrent list. Concurrent list consists 47 subjects. So how many subjects it contains? It contains 47 subjects on which both governments can make laws on economic and social planning, environment, education, personal law, etc. So concurrent list has 47 subjects in which both government can make laws on subjects like economic and social planning, environment, education, personal law, etc. Moving to our last one, students, is called as residuary powers. What are residuary powers? Residuary powers are those subjects which are not included in any of the list. Okay, so which is not there in any of the list. The union government is entitled to make laws on it. So the subjects which are not there in any of the list, union government only has the right, only they are entitled to make laws on it. So these powers are called as residuary powers. Okay, so till here we have done about different kind of list, students. Okay, so now we will be moving ahead. So let's recap, students, what we have done in our today's video. Federalism is the system of running administration of a country by the governments at two levels, with each one making laws on separate and different subjects. So what is federalism? It is a system of running administration of a country by government at two different levels, where each one is making laws on different subjects. The government at the center carries out the tasks like defense of the entire country, foreign policy, establishing peace, etc. It is also called as union government or federal government. Okay, so union government or federal government, what it does, it carries out the tasks like defense of the country, foreign policy, establishing peace, etc. The government that oversees the administration of the region that will live in is called as state government. So what is state government? That government that oversees. Oversees means what? Which look upon. That oversees the administration of the region that we live in is called as state government. It looks after administration of a particular state. Okay, so state government always look after the administration of a particular state. The Constitution has divided the subjects for making laws between union government and state governments in the following manner: union list, state list, concurrent list, and residuary power. So what Constitution has does? Constitution has divided the subjects to make laws between whom? Between union government and state government in the given manner. The first list is called as union list. It contains 97 subjects on which union government alone can make laws. Okay, first list is called as union list and it has 97 subjects. And who makes laws on this? Union government can make laws. Second is the state list. The state list is for the state governments to legislate upon. It contains 66 subjects. So state list, how many subjects it has? 66 subjects. And who looks after state list? State government. Apart from these two lists, that is state list and union list, there is a concurrent list. Concurrent list consists of 47 subjects. So how many subjects concurrent list has? 47. And last is residuary powers. What are residuary powers? Residuary powers are those subjects which are not included in any of the list. The union government is entitled to make laws on it. Okay, so that subject which are not included in any of the list. Okay, so only union government has entitled that can make laws on it. I hope, students, this much must be clear to you all, and if there is still any doubt, just go through the video once again. Thank you so much. A very good morning, students. I hope you all are fine and safe with your family. Students, today in civics, we will be continuing with our same lesson, that is lesson number 3, features of the Constitution. Before we begin with today's lesson, we will just take a quick recap of what we have done or understood in our previous video. Let's begin. Federalism is the system of running administration of a country by the governments at two levels, with each one making laws on separate or different subjects. The government at the center carries out the tasks like defense of the entire country, foreign policy, establishing peace, etc. It is also called as union government or federal government. The government that oversees. Overseas means what? Which look upon. So the government that oversees the administration of the region that we live in is called as state government. What it does? It looks after the administration of a particular state. The constitution has divided subjects for making laws between union government and state governments in the following manner. What constitution has done? Constitution has divided the subject. Why it has divided the subject? To make laws between union government and state government in the given manner. Here you can see student, union list, state list, concurrent list and residuary powers. The first list is called as union list. It contains 97 subjects on which the state union government alone can make laws. What is the first list? First list is called as union list. How many subjects it contains? It contains 97 subjects. And who make laws? Union government can make only laws. Second one is the state list. The state list is for the state governments to legislate upon. It contains 66 subjects and state list has 66 subjects and state government make the laws. Apart from these two lists, there is concurrent list. These two lists means what? State list and union list. Concurrent list consists of 47 subjects. Residuary powers are those subjects which are not included in any list. The union government is entitled to make laws on it. So what are residuary powers, students? Those residuary power are those in which subjects are not included in any list and union government only has the right to make laws on it. Now we will be learning a new thing, students, which is called as union territories. You must have all heard of that. In India, there is a union government, 29 state governments and 7 union territories. The union government controls the union territories. So who has the control of union territories? Union government. Following are the 7 union territories: New Delhi, Daman and Diu, Puducherry, Chandigarh, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep. So here you can see, students, 7 union territories. Our next topic, student, is parliamentary system of government. What it is? The Indian Constitution has provided for a parliamentary system of government. What Indian Constitution has provided? It has provided parliamentary system of government. In such a system, the parliament, that is the legislature, has highest decision making power. So who has highest decision making power? Parliament. Parliament, that is legislature. Indian Parliament includes President, Lok Sabha or House of People and Rajya Sabha or Council of State. So what is included in Indian Parliament? It includes President, Lok Sabha or House of People and Rajya Sabha or Council of States. Council of Ministers run the administration and are responsible or answerable to Lok Sabha. So what happens over here? Council of Ministers, what it does? It runs the administration and they are responsible, or you can also say they are answerable to Lok Sabha. The discussions and the debate that take place in the parliament have great significance. So whenever there are any discussions or any debate that take place in the parliament has a great significance. Next topic, students, which is called as independent judiciary. The Indian Constitution has created an independent judiciary. So what Indian Constitution has created? Independent judiciary. The disputes. Disputes means what, students? We can say where we don't accept each and other's points of views. We can say fighting. Okay. So the disputes that cannot be resolved mutually, that means when it cannot be solved by each other, so that are referred to the judiciary. So it means when mutually it cannot be solved by any of the person, so what happens? Then it has been referred to the judiciary. The court hears both the contesting parties. So what the court does, as and when it has been referred to the judiciary, what court does? The court hears both the contesting parties, look into the injustice if any, and give his judgment. This has to be done impartially. So what the court does over here? Court hears what both the parties says. If any injustice is there, after looking into that, then only court gives its judgment. That has to be done impartially. Impartially, students, means what? It means we should not be partial. Okay, we should not take side of someone. So all these things are to be done impartially. That means it should not be taken side of any other person. The Constitution has made several provisions to ensure that judiciary remains more and more independent. More and more independent means it's not dependent on someone. Okay, so Constitution has made so many provisions for this. For example, judges are appointed by the president and not by the government. Okay. So how we can make an example over here? We can find out judges are being appointed by whom? It has been appointed by president and it is not been appointed by the government. It is not easy to remove the judges from their office. That means it is very difficult. It is not simple that judges can be removed from the office. It is not at all easy. So here we have understood about in detail about independent judiciary. Moving ahead, single citizenship. You must have heard about the term citizenship, students. The Constitution has granted a single citizenship to all Indians. That means for each and every person. Okay, what Constitution has done? Constitution has given single citizenship. So that single citizenship which is given to all Indians is called as Indian citizenship. Our next topic, student, is amending the Constitution. What it means? There comes up a need to make changes or amendments in the provisions of the Constitution due to changes circumstances. Okay, so sometimes what happens? Changes are to be made. Okay, then what happens? Amendments to the Constitution can be made by Parliament. So who can do the changes? Who can amend? Who can do all this? Only by the Parliament, according to the procedure laid down in the Constitution. It means amendment to the Constitution can be made by Parliament. Only Parliament has the right to do that according to the procedure which is given in the Constitution. It is only after giving careful consideration. Only after giving careful consideration it can be done. The procedure for amendment in the Constitution is unique. It is neither too difficult nor too easy. Okay, so what is the procedure for amending the Constitution? It is unique. That means it is not so difficult and it is not so easy also. Next topic, student, is about election commission. You must all have heard about election, students. Okay. Since India has adopted a democratic form of government, people have to elect their representatives periodically. For this, election have to be conducted in free and fair atmosphere. Free and fair atmosphere means not being pressurized from someone else. Okay, the atmosphere should be very good. Okay, only then will the citizens be able to elect a candidate of their choice without any free or pressure. If free and fair atmosphere is there, then only what is going to happen? Citizen will able to elect candidate of their choice. The Constitution has entrusted the responsibility of conducting elections to the Election Commission. So what is election commission? They has the right to conduct election. They have the responsibility of conducting election. So who has given responsibility to conduct election? Constitution. To whom it has been given? It has been given to election commission. So we can just find out, students, here it's a kind of, do you know? You can see here, students, two images. One is of currency note and another second image is of badges of Maharashtra Police, Indian Railway and Maharashtra State Road Transport Corporation. You have surely seen currency note. The words guaranteed by the central government are printed on currency note. You can see, students, it is printed in the currency note and the words been mentioned are guaranteed by the central government. If you have seen the badge on the uniform of a policeman, it reads Maharashtra Police. You must have surely come across the following: Indian Railways and Maharashtra State Road Transport Corporation. This means that in our country, government functions at two levels. One is the central government and other is the state government. Example, Maharashtra State Government or Karnataka State Government, etc. So let's recap, students, what we have learned in our today's lesson. We have already completed everything. We have completed with our third lesson of civics. Now we will take a quick recap of what we have learned new in our today's video. In India, there is a union government, 29 state governments and 7 union territories. The Indian Constitution has provided for a parliamentary system of government. In such a system, Parliament, that is legislature, has highest decision making power. So who has highest decision making power? Parliament, that is legislature. The Indian Constitution has created an independent judiciary. What Indian Constitution has created? It has created an independent judiciary. The disputes as I have told, where we don't understand each another point of view, or you can also say fighting when it take place. The disputes that cannot be resolved mutually are referred to judiciary. Okay. Moving ahead. The Constitution has granted a single citizenship to all Indians, that is Indian citizenship. That means what? Constitution has given every citizen, to each and every one, single citizenship, which is called as Indian citizenship. Amendment to the Constitution can be made by Parliament according to the procedure laid down in the Constitution. Okay, students. So, amendment to the Constitution can be done by whom? It can be made only by the Parliament as per the procedure given in the Constitution. It is only after giving careful consideration. The Constitution has entrusted the responsibility of conducting elections to the Election Commission. So, what Election Commission does? They has the responsibility of conducting election, and this responsibility is given by whom? It is been given by Constitution. Constitution only has entrusted the responsibility of conducting elections to the election commissions. I hope, students, each and everything must be clear to you all. If any doubt is there, just go through the video once again, and thank you so very much.